Hi there, Ranger fans. Welcome back to another Midweek Coaches Show. The past 2 weeks, we've had so many wonderful things happening here that we're excited to talk about. Today, we're going to get to talk to Coach Kale a little bit about our baseball team. So first, let's talk about everything that's been happening. 2 weeks ago, we sent both our wrestling and swim teams off to their state competitions. We're so proud of the athletes all season long, but especially the athletes who competed and represented Smithson Valley at their state competitions. Starting with wrestling, we had two girls who placed. So in third place in her division was Selena Sifuentes Schaefer. We're so proud of the career that she's had here at Smithson Valley and not surprised that she brought home that bronze medal in the state championship. And then also a huge congratulations to Sage Binka. Not only is she a 6A state champion, she's also 55-0 on her career. This season. And for her career, she's 129-5. So saying that she's left behind a legacy here at Smithson Valley is a complete understatement. We're so proud of not only those two girls, but all of the athletes for a wonderful wrestling season. We also sent 3 young sophomore boys to the state tournament. So proud of them, excited to watch them in the next coming years. So hats off to Coach Clarkson and our entire wrestling team for representing the Rangers so well. Also a part of that state send-off was our swim team. We had qualifiers in 4 different events that qualified for state. Huge congratulations to Lainey Skrobanek, who brought home 21st place in the entire state of Texas for the 100 back. And then to Vanessa Weatherford, who brought home 13th place in the entire state of Texas in the 50 free. We're so proud of Coach Bruner, Coach Fritcher, and that entire program for representing us so well. Moving into girls soccer, they wrapped up first round undefeated. Currently, right now, they're 11-0. Had a huge win last night against South Sand in their senior night, 10-0. Currently, they are ranked first in not only the district, but also in the city. So if you haven't had a chance to catch them this year, they're really fun. They're really high energy. They compete. They're physically and mentally tough. I encourage you to check them out. Moving over to boys soccer, also able to finish first round undefeated. Currently, they're 9-1-1, so 9 wins, 1 loss, and 1 tie, trying to get back on track this week. Currently, they're tied for first in district with Clemens. So we'll talk later on about when you can catch them next week. Softball has started district. They're 2 games in and have 2 big wins over both Wagner and New Braunfels. Super excited. Coach Wolf, Coach Randall, all those girls, they've had some great tournaments, really headed in the right direction, and starting off district with a 2-0 record is a pretty good way to start. And then we've got baseball. Really long preseason, lots of preseason games, lots of scrimmages, some tournaments. But to hear a little more about baseball, we're just going to head out to Coach Hill and Coach Kale on the baseball field to learn a little bit more about our program.
Thanks, Coach Miller, and we're here today, as you mentioned, with Coach Chad Kell, our head baseball coach, and on today's show we're going to feature and highlight the baseball program. And Coach Kell, I guess first of all, how many years at Smithson Valley and how many years as head coach?
Coach, I've actually been here coaching baseball here and been at the high school. Been at the high school, I guess, 20, but been here doing baseball in the Smithson Valley community for 23 years, and this will be my 16th year as the head coach.
Well, it's been a heck of a run. I know when we first hired you and worked your way up through the ranks, and you've been in a lot of big ball games out here, and of course the last 16, as you said, as the head coach. And of course we're a little bit into the 2022 season now, but let's go back for a minute before we get into this. Got to have great momentum coming off the 2021 season, state tournament appearance, Final Four. Got to give your kids and coaching staff confidence.
No doubt, Coach. We talked about it back in the fall. Started talking about it and talked about it in January as well. Is that something the program has been established, but to be able to get back to that point,
right.
And to be able to build on that. We've got a decent amount of kids, about 5 starters coming back off of that team. And we want to build on that, and we're going to build on it, continue to build on it. And like you said, it gives kids a lot of confidence. But at the same time, we talked about every year is different.
Right.
We graduated 9 seniors last year, so this team is completely different.
Right.
And so our kids understand that, and they understand as well, with being the defending Region 4 champs, our backs will be marked every time you go out, and that's a good thing. That's a good thing, though. We'll get everybody's best, and that's good right now, especially a couple weeks to go before we head into district play.
Well, coming into 22, you mentioned you have some guys back, and we've kind of had a bumpy start as far as weather, but take us up to now. What's transpired right now? I know we've had some scrimmages and a few games.
Yes, sir. Kind of opposite of what happened last year, I guess. Last year we were only able to get 2 scrimmages in the 2021 season due to the about 7-8 days that we were off when everything was snowed and iced over. We were able to get 6 scrimmages in this year. And scrimmages have been okay. They're a little bit bumpy ride at times with some of the younger guys that we have on the mound this year and stuff. But we were able to play 3 games this past weekend. We were supposed to go up to Weatherford and play in our first tournament up in Weatherford, and we pulled out on Monday, and we were fortunate enough to be able to get into the Alamo Heights tournament. And we ended up playing 3 games there and was able to win all 3. But the most important thing is that we were able to get games in. Some teams across the state didn't get any in, and didn't play any in their first week. So being able to build on that heading into our tournament this weekend.
Yeah, you start playing games in February in Texas. That's always a little bit of a dice throw. Are we going to be able to get the games in or not? But you did get 3. And
yes, sir.
Now, Ranger fans, many of them are familiar with your state tournament run in 2021, and if they come to games this year, they'll probably recognize some of these names. But who are kind of your heavy hitters? No pun intended. But who are the guys that are very likely to be out front and leading the way if we're going to have the kind of year that we anticipate having?
Right, Coach. We started really at the top of our lineup with 4 guys who were 4 mainstays in our lineup last year. Hitting in the 1, 2, 3, and 5 hole. And it starts with Cason Wells, who started with us here for 4. This will be his 4th year that he started for us in center now. Tim Aguayo was 11-1 on the mound last year, and he's back. He actually threw a no-hitter the other night, a complete game no-hitter against Alamo Heights to open our season. And then, David DeHoyas is back as a junior, and we're actually making a move with him. He's going from first base to short. A lot of people may think that it's kind of crazy, but an athlete like David, he can play anywhere on the field. And then Ethan Gonzalez is back behind the plate this year as well. He was will be a 3-year starter for us. And then we got lefty Jackson Elizondo on the mound that saw a lot of innings last year in our playoff run. And so those 5 guys are definitely guys that we'll build around, and those are guys that we'll look to help the younger kids because they've been there, they've done it, and they've done a great job with it so far.
Right. Give you that leadership that you need. And, of course, it'll be a highly competitive district, tough schedule as you go into it, and then to get where we want to go. And I think, we know where we want to go, where we want to end up. But who are the ones that Smithson Valley's got to beat? Let's start with district, and then, of course, within Region 4, who are those heavy hitters that we've got to beat to get where we want to be?
Yes, sir. I think when you talk about district play, last year we were 13-1, and our one lone loss was to East Central out here at our field, and so I think they'll be kind of at the top of the pack along with New Braunfels. New Braunfels was young last year; they return a whole lot, and so those 2 teams, I think you look to there. Judson has got a kid on the mound that is highly touted, committed to Texas State. Very good pitcher. So anytime he's on the mound, that gives them a chance to win. Right. But really, top to bottom in our district, just kind of like everything else out here, you're going to play some pretty tough opponents.
And you guys do a little different thing in baseball the last year or 2 that fans may or may not be aware of. We don't play the whole district all the way through and then play them again the second round. How is that schedule laid out?
So we start, we'll start spring break actually. We'll have our tournament this week, Gripping Springs next week, and then the spring break week we'll start district play. And we'll open up with Wagner, and we'll play Wagner on Tuesday, Thursday over spring break. But what we do is, and then the following week we'll play New Braunfels on Tuesday, Friday. And so we play, kind of, I guess, a less traditional type deal in district, and play the same team both on Tuesday, Friday. And Coach, I tell you, we really like it because for us, I feel, and everybody even in our districts, it gives it a somewhat of a playoff type atmosphere right out of the gate where you're playing the same team, and I think that helps our program and our kids moving into the playoffs if you're fortunate enough to get into the playoffs.
Well, and I think too, it keeps those teams from, if they've got one really good pitcher that's quite a bit better than anyone else, they always save him for your game of the week. Well, that's fine, but we're going to play again too, you know.
Yes,
so
no doubt.
It
no doubt.
favors the team with the deeper pitching stuff.
Yes, it does. It does, especially too now with, I guess about 4 or 5 years ago with the UIL implementing the pitch count limits and rules and
Right.
stuff. So that even is more even of a reason, that you're never going to see, no team in our district is going to see somebody's number one both on Tuesday and Friday.
Yeah.
And so it is good, and I think I like it because it makes sure that every team makes sure that they develop their number 2, number 3, number 4.
Have to.
And that's what you need. And that was a huge bonus for us last year heading into the playoffs.
Well, now, if we are fortunate enough to be a playoff team, and we know they'll take 4 teams out of our league, and if we're one of those, I mean, Smithson Valley's always in the mix, I think, to win a regional championship and be a threat to go to the state tournament. Who else along the way would it be likely that we encounter if we're fortunate enough to get all that way?
But you got to start just going down 281 with Reagan and Johnson.
Right.
They're going to be there. They're always going to be there. Churchill's playing some really good baseball early right now. I know it's real early, but we scrimmaged them, was able to see them. So I think those 3, that district is pretty top-heavy with Reagan, Churchill, Clark in that district, and Brandeis and Johnson. So, but I think, through the past decade or so, it's always been it's been Reagan in 6A or Johnson. And then if you go further south, we were beating Los Fresnos last year in the regional finals, and they got a lot back right now. They have a hot start right now. I think they're 6-0 right now. So those are the teams, I think, kind of the same teams that have been there in
the
years
usual
past.
suspects.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, for sure.
Yes, sir.
Well, they'll probably saying the same thing. To get where they want to go, they know they've got to come through Smithson Valley. And we're wishing you luck and wishing our players luck. And we hope the Ranger fans have got a big tournament this weekend, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday right here at Smithson Valley Field. And you can come out and watch our Rangers a couple of times each day. And then, of course, pretty soon we'll be settling in to that Tuesday and Friday district play that Coach Kell described, and we wish our players luck. And Coach, thanks for being
Thank
on
you, Coach
today.
Hill.
And
Thank you
we'll
very
wrap it
much.
up, of course, like we always do. Let's go Rangers.
Go Rangers.
Thanks, Coach Kale and Coach Hill. We look forward to following our baseball team's success this season. Moving into things coming up this week, our girls soccer team is going to head to Judson on Friday. Varsity will play at 7:15, and then they have next Tuesday off. It's actually a bye, so they're going to get a little bit of rest. Won't be able to find them next Tuesday. Boys soccer, same thing. They are going to be here at Smithson Valley this Friday versus Judson. You can watch varsity at 7:15, and then they'll also have next Tuesday off. So if you're wanting to watch soccer, this Friday is the day. This Saturday, our track program is hosting Ranger Relays. It's a huge track meet, brings in lots of teams, very well run. Coach Jones and his staff do a wonderful job. It's going to be up here on Saturday, all day at Smithson Valley. Should be a beautiful day, so if you want to come out and watch some of our track athletes, we'll see you there. Softball heads to Buda Hayes this weekend for their tournament, and then they continue their district run Tuesday here at Smithson Valley versus Clemens. So it's a great chance to catch them as they start to head on through district. And then our baseball team, as Coach Hill and Coach Kale talked about, we're hosting the Comel Classic this weekend. You can catch them here this weekend at Smithson Valley, or you can catch them Tuesday here versus Bernie Champion at 7. So lots of things going on. We look forward to seeing you. We'll see you next week. Go Rangers.